Hey guys, how are you? It's Anthony from Rainy Distillers. I'm going to be going through a 2-inch Alchemist still. Okay, a couple of minutes of your time. Here we go, guys. Okay, so we're running this keg to 1500 watt, as you see at the bottom there. Again, you don't need to run what I send out with this. You can have a 2000, 3000, 4500, a 5500. Okay, again, that's going to be at your expense, not mine. If you do that, but it goes out with two 1500 watters. Here we go, easy to release, one hand. What would tell to this? There we go. So just change that either to a 2, 3, 4.5, 5,500 watters. If you had two of these, again, it would heat up very quickly. Yes, probably in about 15 minutes, but to run this still, it'd be too much energy. So keep a 55 on this side, keep a 1500 on this side. When you run both, you've got around 7,000 watts. It heats it up very quickly. Then discontinue the 5500 watt and just run the 1500 watt, and it's going to be plenty for the 2-inch still. Always make sure that you have a water line no less than this line here. Okay, so your elements don't burn out. 15 amp. So yes, normal 15 amp for the 1500 watts. Any higher than 1500 watts, guys. Like a 2000 watt, do a 20 amper, and then when you go to the 3s, the 4.5, 5.5, make sure you have a dry outlet in your workshop. Okay, so that's your 15-gallon keg. Okay, we're going to go from here. Okay, any Sankey fits my still. So if you do have a keg, guys, you can do what I'm just showing you there. You don't need to buy one of my kegs, but if you do have a keg, make sure it's from the 70s on, the 70 onwards. English, European, American keg will fit the 2-inch ferrule here. Any keg, okay? Okay, now we're going to come into just running the still, keeping it cold. We have two inlets here. We have an inlet, which is your cold water. Everything's color-coded. Blue for cold, running into the condenser, and then coming from the condenser, and then going into the top. Now, if we undo the top here, you're going to see a spiral. Okay, and this is what's cooling down the vapor. I'm going to explain that to you in just 2 seconds. Okay, so as we see, we have the elements on. Everything's come up to temp. The liquid is now turning into a vapor. It's running up to a point in the center. The vapor runs all the way up through the copper mesh. As it's going through the copper mesh, it's refining the alcohol to a higher spirit. And the H2O or the flavors, congeners falling back down. So the higher you go, the higher the spirit. You can go as high as you want, up to 10 feet if you wish. You just keep buying modulars. Again, the modular is not just used with copper mesh, you can put plant material in it, which we'll talk about later. Anyway, we're coming up here, vapor comes up, hits the coils, the vapor turns into a liquid again, and then that liquid drapes over the butterfly here, or the umbrella. And then we come in there and there's a dividing tray. And the dividing tray in there is what catches the product, and then the product comes through this section here, and this is what we call a liquid management or reflux ratio. Every time that you turn this tap, the more that you turn this off and you're restricting the flow of the alcohol or the product coming out, it just means you're returning the alcohol back down the keg. Okay, so that means the more that you turn this off, the more that you're returning, and that's the reflux ratio. So if I turn this nearly all the way off, it's like a 90% return, or 90% reflux. So that means you're returning 90% of the product down, and you're only getting 10% coming out for high proof. Another good thing about liquid management is you can turn the still entirely off, meaning that it's going to be in a mode of reflux. It's refining everything, meaning it's bringing all the volatiles, the acetones, the wood alcohols, and it's going to be sitting them in the dividing tray. This dividing tray holds around about an ounce, ounce and a half, just enough for a 15-gallon keg, removing those things that kill you deader than a hammer, or make you stupid, or make you blind, or both. Anyway, there we go. There's the temperature gauge, so you can read your temps for when you're going through your run, through your heads, hearts and tails, you know, turning it off at 202. This gives you an indication. Getting to now the essential oils, or flavoring your product. Okay, first way we can do it is by putting plant material in here. You can put lavender, lemon, rind, orange rind, whatever it may be, pineapple, strawberries, and you can put it in here and run your alcohol through this, and it will come out as a flavored beverage.